Welcome, everybody. So today, the Social Security Acting Commissioner, Frank Bisignano, was out in an interview and he said all kinds of juicy things. Well, I want to share with you just a little bit about what he said. I think I need to make probably another dedicated video talking about this. He was out in his honestly a longer interview than he's typically out in. He said a lot of interesting things within this, but I want to focus on just a couple here in this live stream really quickly, okay? So anyway, I was going to talk through the details of this, and this happened today as far as this interview that he was out in. Okay, now first off, he mentioned a couple different things that we certainly want to focus on. Number one, and this is a little bit interesting because it's been a while, probably, I don't know, probably a year or two since we've heard any remarks like this out of any major figure within Social Security or anything like that. So it's kind of interesting to see this coming up. But basically, the host was asking him, like, what's on the table as far as this whole insolvency thing, right? So we have Social Security insolvency, okay? So they were talking about it for a little while. By the way, I did listen to the entire interview. But in this interview, they were basically saying, so like, what's going on with this insolvency thing? The trust fund will be empty in just a matter of years. Like, what's the plan? Are you guys doing anything about this? And he very clearly indicated, essentially everything is on the table. Okay, so like, what do you mean by that, right? Like, well, what is on the table here? What is the plan? The plan is this. Now, I want to just let me say the plan really quickly. Okay, they've made this very clear over the last several years here, but just hang with me. So when I say this, don't be like, oh man, that's it. They're taking our benefits, stuff like that. Let me explain in just a second. But here's the deal. Everything is on the table. What that really means is that they're likely going to be raising the full retirement age. Yeah, you're hearing that correctly, okay? Now remember, the full retirement age is capped out right now at 67. So somebody born in 1960 or after has a full retirement age of the age of 67, okay? So for every year born before 1960, the full retirement age goes down by 2 months. For example, again, I just said anybody born in 1960 or after, full retirement age is 67. Somebody born in 1959 has a full retirement age of 66 and 10 months. Somebody born in 1958 has a full retirement age of 66 and 8 months, and the list goes on and on, okay? But anyway, that's what it's capped out as, 67, okay? So he very clearly indicated they're discussing, and they also need to partner with Congress, lawmakers, to make this happen. Now, this is not going to be something that just happens some random night where lawmakers come together and say, let's raise the full retirement age by 3 or however many years. No, this is going to be a long, drawn-out process. It's going to take them a while to come together on this agreement and actually get this done with lawmakers. But some of the proposals that they've indicated over the last several years is to raise the full retirement age either to 69 or 70. I'm going to be fair with you. I would not be shocked one bit if we see it go even higher than the age of 70, maybe 71, maybe 72, maybe even higher than that. I would not be shocked at all if they actually came in with this. Okay, now here's the part that I wanted to clarify really quickly for you, which is a lot of people out there that are currently on benefits or that are going to be receiving benefits soon, as in maybe you were born in like 1958, 59, 60, 62, 63, 65, something like that. You might be thinking, oh man, really? They're going to do this, right? I was just about to get my benefit in 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 years or something like that. Are they really going to be doing that to me? Or again, like I said, maybe you're currently a beneficiary right now thinking, oh, really, they're going to hack my benefit, right? Here's the interesting part about it. This would not impact current beneficiaries, and anybody that's going to be getting benefits in the next, call it just the next couple years here, most likely would not be impacted by this, which is honestly a really nice thing. Then who's it going to impact? Well, that's a really interesting question. It's going to impact who? The younger generations. Yes, the younger generations. Generally, those individuals around the ages of 40 or younger are going to be the ones that are going to be impacted by the increase in the full retirement age. It's not necessarily beneficiaries right now getting benefits. No, there'll be no impact to you or your monthly benefit whatsoever with the increase of the full retirement age. That would not impact you whatsoever. But rather, those individuals, again, around the ages of 40 or under, will be the ones that will be massively impacted by this, as the full retirement age for these individuals will likely be pushed out several years. It's not going to be 67. For somebody that's currently 40 or 35 or 30, something like that, or even in their 20s right now, no. By the time that that individual gets to be, 65, 70, something around there, full retirement age is not going to be 67 anymore. That's a long shot, not happening. Okay. So that's kind of one nice, if I can say that, one nice thing about it is that current beneficiaries don't have anything to worry about here when it comes down to this change of the full retirement age, right? So there's been discussion around this many times over the last several years, and it's probably been, like I said at the beginning of this live stream, it's probably been honestly like a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe even 2 years since we've seen a formal and serious proposal coming out to raise the full retirement age. This was a very common thing, again, maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago. They came up with many proposals to raise it to 68, to 69, to 70. They've talked about all of this. So we haven't really heard a whole lot about it until now, until today. Again, they alluded to this, okay? So that's what it's going to be. They also indicated this. I found this to be very interesting. They used the words, younger generations will need to play by different rules than current generations right now, like the baby boom generation that is becoming eligible for Social Security like right now and has been over the last several years. That generation is playing by the current rules of Social Security. However, they indicated in this interview that younger generations will not be playing by the same rules as current generations getting Social Security, which is interesting and honestly totally accurate as well. That's going to be the case. They're going to change the rules. And here's the thing as well. The acting commissioner, again, Frank Bisignano, he did indicate in this interview today that yes, Social Security will be around. In fact, I found this to be interesting, and I've mentioned this before in other videos. He mentioned this, and I don't know how old Frank is. I'm going to be fair with you. I don't know. I mean, I would maybe guess like 60s or 70s or something. I honestly don't know how old he is. But I could probably look that up. I'm very curious to know. But he also said to the host, and he was like, hey, they've been talking that we wouldn't even be getting Social Security, right? And let's be fair. We've been all hearing this our entire lives. I know that I've been hearing this for as long as I can think back, for, years and years and years, decades, for many years. I remember hearing that. Oh, don't worry. Social Security won't be around when it's, when it's time for you to get it. I've been hearing this. I know you've probably been hearing this. We've all heard this for years. Social Security is bankrupt. It's going away. It's not going to be there for you. Well, still is. And there's no plans on it going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, a little more than a month ago, on August 14th to be exact, it celebrated its 90th birthday, the 90th birthday of Social Security. So the Social Security Act was signed into law in 1935. Yeah. There you go. 90 plus years at this point. Okay. So August 14th, 1935 is when it was signed into law. So that's interesting. Over 90 years now that this program has been in place. So there you go. Okay. Now here's something else I want to point out as well. And I'm not here to tell you what to do. Okay. I just want to make that very clear. I think I say that all the time in my videos. Not here to tell you what to do. Not here to influence anybody. I'm here to give you information and to help out as much as I can to make your life easier, to maximize your benefit, to maximize your money, to do whatever I can to help you through this as I get it. It's massively confusing. There's a ton of moving parts about this. Okay. So I want to give you that real quick little preface there. But here's the thing. I've been saying this for years as well. If you have not done so yet, I would highly recommend signing up on the Social Security website for a My Social Security account. You do not need to. It is totally free. You do not need to do this. It is not required, okay? But I've been saying for years, it's a really nice, handy tool to have, okay? I signed up a couple years ago. It's really nice to have. I log in maybe 3 times a year or so, give or take a little bit. I log in just to look around, make sure everything looks good, and you have access to all kinds of things on that, okay? But here's the thing. The acting commissioner indicated today in this interview as well, their goal is to have 200 million people signed up for a My Social Security account. It's a lot of people. That's like, I don't know, that's like nearly 2/3 of the population of this country is how many they want to have signed up for a My Social Security account. So what is my point behind this? Why am I saying that? Who cares what their goal is? I have all kinds of goals, right? Who cares what my goals are? Who cares what the goals are of Social Security? Here's why I mentioned this. And I said this before in a video, maybe, I don't know, 2 months ago or so. I've said it a couple times actually, which is it's very obvious what the goals of Social Security are right now. Just listen to what they're saying. Watch what they're doing. It's very obvious. Do you know what their goals are? Well, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while now, it's probably pretty obvious what they are because I've said it. And if you've been watching and listening, you probably know what they are. It's probably something that you're not, thinking at the moment. What is their goal? Digitizing Social Security, taking humans out of the equation and pushing people to their website as well as the My Social Security account. They've made it very, very, very clear their intentions over the last, 6, 7, 8 months or so, that Social Security, they want to make this a less hands-on interaction with humans anyway. They're replacing the phone number. When you call, you're not really talking to humans anymore. You're talking to robots. You're talking to AI. It's very, they're digitizing it. Okay, so they're implementing the new phone systems with AI. You're having AI answering your Social Security questions, and they're pushing people to the My Social Security account. So they're making this very, very, very clear what they want from us. If you call us, we don't want you talking to people. I mean, they will. They'll still answer the phone with humans, but they really want to resolve this as much as they possibly can in a digital sense. Okay, does that make sense? And again, I know it sounds weird, like, oh no, I don't know if they're really trying to do this. Yeah, they're absolutely trying to do this. They're making it very clear what they're doing here. They're bringing AI into the phone system. They're bringing AI and digitization into the My Social Security account and the Social Security website. They're laying thousands of people off or reassigning these individuals, right? So they're making it obvious. They're bringing more technology in and humans out. Does that make sense? Right? So again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I just want to make that very, very clear. I don't care what you do. Okay. I'm just being fair with you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help guide you through this, but I'm not here to tell you what to do. But my thing is this. I would really encourage you, if you have not done so, to sign up for a My Social Security account. It's going to serve you at some point here as we get further and further along and they continue to digitize Social Security and make all of these different services available through your My Social Security account. I'm just saying, with all these changes that are coming in, and he made it very clear today in this interview, this is what they're doing. Okay? I'm just saying, it's going to serve you at some point. Okay, so just do what you got to do. I'm just saying it's going to make your life easier at some point to have access to that. And they made that very clear. Now, he said another stat today, which I don't know if this is accurate or not. It seems very high. He said that they get 700,000 calls a day to their offices. 700,000 phone calls a day. I don't know about that. That seems like a very high number. Maybe that's accurate. I don't know. It just seems very, very high to me. Could you imagine your phone ringing 700,000 times a day? I'm not sure about you. I think I'd probably get rid of the phone, right? It would be very annoying to get that many phone calls a day. I feel like I get way too many scam calls every single day. It's like, that's all I get, right? Every day. Block a lot of numbers every day because I don't want those people calling me back. So anyway, there's way more to it than that. And yeah, he also talked about the COLA a little bit. Nothing really interesting there. He did indicate that, it's coming out here in a couple weeks. Well, it's a little bit less than a month now is when the announcement on the COLA will be released. And obviously, if you've been watching the videos on the channel for a while now, you've heard me say that as well. The middle of October, we'll get that announcement. That's when the COLA comes out. So we'll be getting that soon. Projections, again, if you haven't heard my range, I'll give it to you really quickly. 2.7 to 2.9. If I had to give you an exact number, 2.8 is my exact number projection. I could be off by 0.1% either direction, but that's likely what it's going to be. So anyway, some interesting things that they talked about in this interview today, but the most interesting takeaway that I got out of it was like, oh, hey, they have all options on the table for this whole insolvency thing. Okay. And by the way, you might see some reports out there that say, oh, insolvency is in 2034. No, it's not. That would indicate 9 years from right now. Not a chance. Best case scenario, we have 7 years. Best case scenario, we're probably looking more like 6.5 years realistically right now with this whole insolvency situation. Okay. And again, I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm just saying this action that they need to take whatever they're going to do to make sure that Social Security remains solvent and that they can continue to pay out 100% of promised benefits, that action needs to come sooner than later. Okay. And again, I said this last year. I said this probably around this time last year, a full year ago. I was saying this was before we knew anything about the new administration, right? The current administration right now. I was saying this a year ago, and I said, whoever the next administration is, and again, didn't know at the time who it was going to be. I just said, whoever the next administration is, that 4-year period of time is going to be critically important for Social Security. Because if they waste 4 more years and do nothing to Social Security, we're going to be in a very serious predicament when all of a sudden 4 years are gone and we're like, whoops, didn't do anything to shore up the finances of Social Security, didn't do anything to fix the program and make sure that everybody gets paid their full amount on time every single month. We're going to be in a very serious situation. So I said that a year ago. The videos are still here on the channel. Feel free to go back and look it up. I have no idea what the videos would be titled, but I did say it a few times about a year ago, and I made that very clear. Well, we're still obviously in that time frame right now. So the acting commissioner, Frank Bisignano, is making it very clear, hey, we also need to do something. We have time to get this done. Agreed. We do have time, but the time's a ticking, and we can't waste, the next 3.5, 4 years. We cannot waste that time without taking some kind of action. Now, I want to point something out as well. And I know that this has been a major concern from a lot of people all across the board. And again, I'm not turning this into a political video in any way, shape, or form. I just want to point this out for you really quickly. I know there's a lot of people out there suggesting, oh, this one party, this or that party. I'm not going to name parties. It doesn't really matter. There's mixed feelings across the board. I'm just saying, no one party can change Social Security single-handedly. They cannot do it. Legally, they cannot do it. So that should give you the reassurance knowing that one party cannot come in. And again, doesn't matter the party. I'm just saying, doesn't matter. No president, no party can come in and single-handedly or unilaterally come in and just change the program and say, that's it. We're doing it to our standards and we don't care what anybody else says. Nope. It's not how Social Security works. It must be done with lawmakers. Has to get the majority vote in the House, and it must get a minimum of 60 votes in the Senate to be done. Well, at this time, no party has 60 seats in the Senate, right? So you'd have to get support from across the aisle. Point being is that, well, you have to get everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody, it doesn't have to be everybody, but you at least need to get 60 senators. So that would require people from both parties to come together on an agreement to reform this, however that happens to be. Whatever they do, we don't know yet, but there's plenty of ideas. There's plenty of proposals. I've talked about every single one of them in the last 6,000 videos here on the channel. I've talked about every single one of them over the years. There are a ton of them. There are a ton. It would take me a lot of time to curate all of those and put them into a list, or even to present them in a single video. I would be sitting here for hours and hours, probably a couple of days, talking about all these different proposals and everything encompassed within them. There's a lot of it out there. What is the best answer? Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows what it would be. Okay. Now, another quick little stat. I was doing more research on this, as I do with all this stuff. I thought this was interesting. Maybe somebody cares about this, maybe not. I don't know. I found it to be fascinating. But why is Social Security dealing with the insolvency potential issue that we're dealing with now? Okay, so obviously we're still fine. They still have about $2.72 trillion in the trust fund as of the Social Security Board of Trustees report that was released back in June of this year, so just a couple months ago. They still have over $2.72 trillion. They're fine for now, okay? They're good for a while. But point being is, why are we in this situation in the first place? Here's why. Back in 1950, there were 16.5 workers for every one retiree. That's sustainable. That's sustainable. In other words, for every 16.5 people working, there was one retiree getting Social Security benefits. So those 16.5 people were supporting one retiree. That works. That's fine. That ratio works. Okay. Here's the problem. In 1985, what is that? That's 40 years ago. Yeah, 40 years ago. In 1985, that ratio went down to 3.3 workers for every one retiree. That was 40 years ago. Okay, that doesn't work. Today, well, no, let me take that back. Not even today. In 2013, so 12 years ago, the ratio dropped to 2.8 workers for every one retiree. That's the most latest data that I can find on this. So that was back in 2013, 2.8 workers for every one retiree. That ratio does not work. What is it today? I don't know what it is at this moment, but I would probably around like 2.2 to 2.3 workers for every one. That unfortunately does not work. That ratio does not work. There's not nearly enough payroll taxes extracted from those 2.3 or 2.2 workers to pay that one retiree's benefit check every single month. That ratio doesn't work. Back in 1950, when it was 16.5 workers supporting one retiree, that works. That's a ratio that's totally fine. That works, right? There's enough money coming in through payroll taxes, and the benefits were obviously a lot lower. What is that, 75 years ago? So yeah, that ratio worked. But because benefits have increased so substantially, and the ratio of workers to retirees has gone down so substantially, it doesn't work anymore. It literally doesn't work. And now here's another crazy statistic about this as well. With the implementation of AI taking over so many things right now, and we're seeing it in job losses across the board with these different jobs reports that we're getting out, and the proliferation of AI over the coming, well, essentially days, weeks, months, and the next few years here, this ratio is going to continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller, which is why they're talking about putting a tax on robots. Real thing. It's a real thing. They're talking about implementing a tax on robots. Because if humans aren't working anymore, where are they going to get tax money from? Yeah, you got to tax the robot. So not fun to be that robot. Yeah, right. So unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, thankfully, the robot, doesn't really have emotion. Well, actually, they kind of do have emotions. It's really weird. But at least the robot, probably wouldn't know that it's being taxed. So anyway, that's that. It's a very weird time we're living in right now, okay? These days are very weird compared to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Very different. Things are very weird. And if we look out into the future, even just 4 to 5 years, it's going to be like a fantasy land that time in the future compared to what we're living in now. It's going to be a very, very weird time. So, quick little side note. I want to throw this out there super fast. I found this to be interesting. I had no intention of talking about this, by the way, but I read an article about this the other day that they were talking about, like Amazon, huge Amazon. They deliver like tons and tons of packages, but there's people talking about the whole process 100% being automated and completely from, warehouse, packaging, delivery, even all of it completely robotics. Okay. They said that it would be nuts to even have the idea in 5 years from right now. They said in this article that I was reading, was kind of interesting. They said that in 5 years, it would be completely nuts to think that a human would even touch your package at all. That means a robot brings it to your door. Can you imagine that? I'm not sure what is more scary, right? I don't know. That sounds very weird. A robot coming up to your door. I feel like, oh man, what is happening in this world? Anyway, that's what they're talking. So about in 5 years, they're saying it'd be even ridiculous to think about a human even touching that package. So there you go. Get ready. Robots will be delivering everything soon. I don't know. I don't know the reality on that, but I wouldn't be shocked. Would not be shocked with how fast things are advancing. All right. Anyway, I know it's super weird, right? Anyway, if you want some more stability in your life right now, I've got that phone number for you. Seriously, do yourself a favor, write that phone number down, take a picture, take a screenshot. If you are currently one of the 70 million seniors or anybody currently on Medicare right now, that is by far your best resource, that phone number. Take advantage of that, write it down, take a picture, take a screenshot. In a matter of days, the next couple weeks here, as we get into October, when annual enrollment kicks off, all these details like this, that is going to be your best resource, your best friend, your best alibi, and it could potentially be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars for you when you call that phone number and they help you with your Medicare plan. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Thousands and thousands and thousands of you here in this community have already called them, have received help. Those of you that have been turning 65 or retiring or having a special enrollment period, anything like that, have been calling that. I've been seeing tons of people reaching out saying, I saved XYZ. I mean, I could rattle off all kinds of names right now. Ken Johnson, $174 a month. Miriam McGee, $100 a month. Who's the name I just posted? Drawn out blank. What was his name? Dwayne Carls. Sorry, Dwayne Carls. $142 a month. Okay. Michael Lindy, maybe like a week or two ago, $116 a month. Again, the list goes on and on. Ed Fitzpatrick, he reached out, $170 a month. Kathy McCauley, $2,000 a year. Vikings Bears, $1,000 a year. Again, list goes on and on. Lots of Harold L, $79 a month. Okay. I mean, seriously, these names keep coming to me. All right. All kinds of names that have reached out. Anyway, my point being is that that's going to be your best resource. Just take a screenshot, take a picture of that, whatever you got to do. That's going to be your best resource. Who knows? Let me know how much money they're going to save you. You just got to pay attention to that. All right. Anyway, Corey's here to help me out. After you talk to them, drop a comment down below, use the word chapter. Let me know how it goes, and I'll give you a shout out in a future video. Thanks for watching this. Please subscribe if you're new here.